What's up, my fellow God candidates, and welcome back to another episode 83 of the Anime Squad podcast. I'm your God candidate, Robbie.
And this is your angel, David.
And this is Metropolitan Josh.
Right, and unfortunately, Omar got hit with the white arrow, so he can't make it here because on account that he's probably never going to come back. He got spirited away. But he'll be back next week, miraculously.
He'll have some plot armor and be back.
Oh yeah, just like any good old shonen MC. Before we continue though, be sure to red arrow that like button, white arrow that comment button, and fly straight into the share button and drop us a good old share if you think we're super cool. Subscribe, my bad. Subscribe if you think we're super cool.
And hit that bell button.
Yeah, and like always, if you want, you can be able to skip ahead or just fly straight ahead to your favorite show that you're interested in talking about. We got timestamps, of course, that we've neatly laid out for you guys. And without further ado, let's get on to talking about our shows.
Before we start, we have a couple shows that we're gonna.
Oh, right. Like David said, so we've realized that our list of shows are a little bit too much, so we're planning on trimming the fat a little bit. It's unfortunate because some of these were actually our favorites, but due to scheduling and distribution and whatnot, we're gonna have to cut these for now.
Some of us are like not on board, some were. So.
Oh yeah. So there's like a good couple that's that we're still obviously that. Yeah. We were kind of at odds with, but there were basically yeah. So we're doing all that.
So like I was gonna say, basically, if you don't see us talk about a show later on, we could always talk about it at the end of the season.
Right.
So it doesn't mean we hate the show or anything like that. Like we're gonna definitely watch at least some of these shows. It can be tough to watch them on a schedule.
Yeah. So it's not that we don't like these shows. It's just scheduling and. We gotta trim the fat. So, but yeah, onward to our regularly scheduled programming with Vampire Dies in No Time.
Episode 5. Yeah.
So this is one of the episodes this is one of the anime that we are going to be cutting off our list.
Not an egregious show or anything. No. Just. It doesn't hit with everybody.
Yeah.
And that I think that's the moral of the show is basically like, hey, it's comedy, but it's not always funny. Like some jokes will hit and some jokes will not hit. And that's this episode as well. Same thing. Every episode is like kind of not. It's like an anthology. It's not even based off of anything really. It's just like random scenes.
I guess Robbie, did you enjoy it, man? I enjoyed this episode.
I'll be honest. This show, it's sad that we're having to cut this, but I actually like this show more than a couple that we're actually keeping. So for me, it is kind of sad, but we gotta go with the group, and the group majority. Well, not the group majority, but half the group.
Yeah.
Is not super on board with, which is sad. But comedy is comedy. It's very much a person-to-person thing. So it's understandable as to why we're cutting this. In a perfect world, I would say that we would definitely keep this, but it is what it is.
In a perfect world, we'd keep all the shows.
Oh, that most definitely.
Yeah, I had fun with this episode. Was it the whole with John too? The whole little segment with John.
All the segments with John is just amazing.
Oh, John is literally the best character in the show.
And the hybrid vampire guy, it was funny.
Oh, the Dampier, yeah. He's cool. I like his whole like rivalry against Ronaldo.
Yeah,
for literally no reason. He just doesn't like him.
No,
from high school, man.
Yeah, the high school days. He's got.
No, man's just mad aggressive. For no reason.
I like all his.
Literally, Ronaldo's like hi, and he's like, "Oh, I hate you." He's like, "Okay."
All his plots and everything is so hilarious with that guy.
Yeah. You can't help it though, but it is. He's a quirky character. I like his I like how over the top he is, and I like the fact that he just kind of he already has like Ronaldo's like weaknesses and stuff figured out and everything. He has like the celery laid out like right.
I find that so funny. The celery outside his door, and Ronaldo's like frantically texting Dracula, and he's like, dude. And he's like, dude, I can't come in. There's celery.
and then with the cat thing too, it was funny.
Yeah.
I like the whole cat, that the cat is a vampire as well.
Oh, that one, yeah. He's a vampire, and he's like, I will make everyone love cats.
I like that the fact that the only one that it was like, oh, I literally can't do nothing.
Right?
The guy, what's his name?
The book guy.
The vampire.
The publisher. The publisher. Right? Yeah.
I felt sorry for the cat at the end. He looked.
I think
traumatized.
I feel like they didn't mention it, but I feel like they got him fixed. They probably had him fixed.
Dang.
That's why he looks so dead.
He's like, I lost my manhood.
Hey, I mean, his manhood was in full display though. I had to actually rewind. I'm like, wait, what is that? Is that what I think it is?
I thought it was his tail, man.
No.
I didn't notice his manhood either.
Yeah, it's right there. It's like right there in full display. So I'm pretty sure. Yeah, my man
sussy.
My man is not he's not his former self, I guess. But yeah, I mean that was Vampire Dies in No Time. You know, unfortunately we have to give it the axe. All right, the next episode we're going to be talking about is Mieruko-chan, episode 5. And this one's cool. I like the fact that we finally got introduced to our third character.
Yeah, finally we got to see her backstory. I like how she can see them, but she can't see, like, she can't hear them.
That was a really good detail.
Or see, like, the really bad ones.
Yeah, I had a feeling that was going to be a thing, since the ending it kind of shows what goes through their eyes. And that's what it was entertaining about it. I was like, all right, we're getting more story on this girl, and why she was following her throughout the whole through school. Like, she noticed her no matter what.
Yeah, and I like that detail because, like, when they first show her off, it's not like, oh, here's, she can, like, see them. But I like that detail that, like, when you see it from her perspective, you don't see them that clearly at all. Like, you can barely, like, make, like,
the
a
outline, and they don't look that scary. They're just kind of, like, ghostly. But when you see it from our MC point of view, they're, like, horrifying.
By the way, did you guys notice that little... Okay, I might have to rewatch this again, but did you guys notice that little detail of, like, because, okay, so later in the episode, Miko actually chokes out our new girl.
Yeah.
But I noticed that, like, when she's about to, like, close her eyes, I think there was, like, a faint silhouette.
Oh yeah,
of,
yeah.
Like,
She somewhat saw it.
Yeah. She saw it because she was like,
yeah, because, like, yeah, I noticed that as well.
Yeah.
Like while she was losing consciousness, she could see the big scary one, which begs the question, why couldn't she see it in the first place? Since she could see the little ones. Even Mieruko asked that question, why couldn't she see the little ones but not the big one right next to her?
Maybe because she was almost in death, I guess. Point. Well, she technically said she almost died.
Yeah, you're right. Like, she was, like, don't go into the light. But no, what I was thinking was that maybe because of the fact that, like, the way I interpreted it was, like, maybe because of the fact that she was squinting. So it was kind of like made it look like she was actually, like, looking into it a little bit.
At the same time, she remembered about it. Well,
because she was getting choked out.
She was dying. Yeah.
Well, eventually, later on, she doesn't bring it up.
Yeah.
Well, we could see the official thing. There's a lot of, like, this show is weird because it's, like, it's a comedy, but there's a lot of, like, theories that you could have. There's a lot of strange things that present itself.
Ghost in general, ghost and, like, thoughts of how all of this works and stuff,
Yeah.
There's different topics to talk about ghost-wise, dimensions, all that stuff. But it's interesting how they bring it up in this show.
Yeah, so... overall, very entertaining episode. Oh, I also like the end, the last segment too.
Last segment,
the
last
last
segment's really nice. I love how they put this in the show that, you know, her ability is not just like torturous for her, right? Like she's actually helping people with it. You know, with the cat thing, within the second episode, I believe, with the guy. And then with her father being the ghost in that episode, and now with helping the grandmother with the safe.
Yeah, but now she realizes that not all of those monsterish
the scary looking ones, they're not all bad. Like I feel like they're wandering souls, because they just repeat something and they want something from her. Like usually they're not trying to scare her, they're just like
the one that
they're almost kind of afraid of her. Like even the big ghost in the club room, when the girl was saying, "Oh, I could see them," he was freaking out.
Yeah,
he was like, she could see me? What?
The one that caught me off guard was the old lady that she was helping, because she was sort of like a ghost in a way.
Yeah.
She was terrified at the beginning, but at this point she's like, I don't know what I'm seeing at this point.
Yeah, she's starting to hallucinate a little bit, and it's starting to like affect her life, because she sees it so often now that she doesn't even know what's real and what isn't anymore.
Right.
But who knows?
Which is scary.
Maybe the lady was passing away and she managed to, you know, get her up, because I don't know if you noticed.
Well, they did talk about David. They did talk about how her, like, I think it could have been a metaphor for like her life force, because that when she met up with the daughter, she was like, yeah, ever since her husband died, like it's been like her life force has been like a different person, you know. And then when she opened the safe, and got to see all her memories of it, she became a different person.
Yeah.
So that's what's cool about this show. I enjoy it.
So this was I love it when like they have episodes that kind of end off in like in a sweet way, because you know,
it shows that seeing the monsters isn't like all bad. Like she just needs to figure out a way. I feel like she's kind of torturing herself most with it by not acknowledging them. Like I think if she just like even talked to one, I think it would help her a little bit, because like they're not all bad, clearly.
Yeah.
So like I think she's like internalizing her pain too much with them. And it's starting to affect her.
Yeah, because I remember like going in, I'm like, oh, this is basically like the intro concept to how Bleach started, but Bleach then eventually just ended up becoming a shonen battle anime, while this one is just sticking with its main core aspect of like the beginning aspect, which I dig. I dig the fact that like it's kind of doing its own thing. But
I like that it went back to the old lady, like it went like a reverse ways, where the lady went back to the new girl went to that lady for the
with the oh, you mean the exorcist?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool. I hope that kind of brings
like that.
I kind of hope the exorcist kind of comes back. I'd like to see kind of like what
she knew what was going on. She was like, she saw Miruko's energy.
Yeah.
And then she saw the other girl's energy too, being like, oh, she attracts them, but she can't see them at all.
Right.
And then she was like, Mieruko can see them, and she's like, oh, I feel bad for this girl. She's like putting up with it.
Yeah. So. But that was Mieruko-chan. We'll see kind of what happens next week. What kind of other crazy, wacky ghost she sees, and we have Irina the Cosmonaut, episode 5. Man, more Irina goodness, man. But it just kind of makes you.
I love this anime. It's so unique. It's probably one of the most unique animes I've ever seen, because it's like. It just takes place in such a like interesting time period. The music is super good.
It's funny how you said good thing, but right now it's kind of bad for her. I feel sorry for her.
Well, I mean,
I know. The show is good. I know.
The show, the actual show.
The more
is really
we go
good.
into her character, like the more it's gonna suck, because we're getting closer and closer to launch, and we have no guarantee at all. If they're going to be like, because this is the USSR, you know, they go all into like, we're gonna execute you, we're gonna send you to the gulags, you know stuff like that.
It's not even that. The thing might not like
it could fail too.
Succeed. It's got like a 20% succeed rate on here.
Yeah,
and I know what they're saying is they're basically using her to see what works, but it's sad because like they don't care. She's literally a dog, and when she saw the dog die on the thing, she was like, that's me, that's gonna be me. Like, they don't care about me, you know, they're just using me as like a literal experiment. And she got kind of so caught up with her training and her like want to like go to space and stuff like that that she forgot that she means nothing to them, and that if her death means nothing.
Except for one.
Yeah.
Except for one guy.
Except for Lev, which I'm thinking, man, like what about the pink-haired assistant? You know, she was also team.
But the pink-haired assistant is different from Lev. Lev treats her like a person. The pink-haired assistant treats her like an object. Like just something to look at. Like the pink-haired girl likes her, but it's more like I'm fascinated by her. Like, oh, let me just check out her teeth. Let me look at her, you know, her body and stuff like that.
It's I guess she just wants to see because it's strange to see something like this, I guess.
Yeah, it's not like actually caring for the person, you know. But I remember when when we first started watching this, and I'm like, I think Lev and Irina will be a cute couple. And then I remember, I hope these two main characters get together and they're cute together.
I have a high doubt about that.
We'll see how it ends.
That's just me being a negative Nancy, right?
Yes.
I gotta believe, damn it.
Yeah, just try not to like. I feel like with these types of shows, you want to make sure you want to keep your expectations down a notch, because that way you don't like set yourself up for failure.
Yeah. You don't want me to get attached to her? That's what you're
saying?
mean,
it's okay for you to get attached, but if you get yourself attached to the characters in the wrong, like, if you're too optimistic, then I feel like that's definitely gonna let you down real hard.
Ouch. Just like.
Damn, I just thought they were cute together. Holy balls. Rabbi fighting me on that. Well, Rabbi, all I have to say to you is, who was right? Me. I was right. I was right, Rabbi. You're a cute couple.
Hopefully he survives as well.
Indeed, I hope so too. All right.
Yeah.
And with that, we move on to our next anime. We have Takt Op Destiny, episode 5. So unfortunately, this one also gets the chainsaw as well. This one was also kind of one of those anime where it's like we do enjoy, but based off all the abundancy of anime that we have, Takt Op is getting the cut. It's not that we don't dislike it, but we're gonna keep up with it on our own, and it's gonna show up at the towards the end of the season. But yeah, overall this episode was kind of okay. I know, Josh, you were not a fan of the episode at all.
It's not that I was a fan of it. I was mostly laughing at it. I thought it was funny because the villain conductor guy, he is comically over the top villain, and so is his like music art too. And I thought it was entertaining, but it was just funny too because they were like, her name is literally Hell. And she's like so over the top evil that it was funny to watch. It was entertaining. I'll give it that.
You know what kind of sucked? Not they let go of the other girl. I actually enjoyed the other girl, the one with the sword and shield.
I actually liked like the dynamic even between like Lenny and his music art. Like I wish they stayed together a little bit longer. Like we only were with them for one episode. Well, I was like, wow.
Oh, with them, but also the new the I guess one of the art girls.
Oh, her. Yeah, I think she's gonna come back. I don't know about you. I think she's gonna come back personally, because she said she's without a contract and stuff like that, and they formed a bond. So I think she's just gonna they're gonna meet up again. That's just my personal. Yeah, because I just feel that why would they introduce a character and then not have them? Right? Like that doesn't make sense.
Oh, sorry, what was that? No, but I agree with though. The next anime that we're going to be talking about, Platinum End, episode 5, is one that we're actually going to be keeping.
Yeah, because it's hilarious.
Yeah, and that's the reason why we made our episode theme based on that one, because it's entertaining. Oh man, so that cliffhanger from last episode, oh man, what a what an ending, right? That paid off.
Well, she just dies, so...
Yeah, she gets shot with an arrow. But hey, I mean, like, thankfully, Nase comes in and be like, oh, I love the fact that the angels just meddle into kind of like what's going on. Like,
well, I love Nase was hardcore in that too. Like, she was like threatening him.
Yeah.
No, but
shit.
That's what's good about at least the angels wise, because they could show who they are. Like, they don't have to hide anything. They're just angels.
Yeah, they're not like attached to the person, you know. Like, they could just kind of be there, right?
Yeah.
And they're not affected. Like, they can't die, you know.
Very true.
So that's why she just came out of nowhere to go to talk to him instead of our MC and the other chick.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, one of my favorite aspects of this episode was the fact that he did a public execution in a stadium in front of all these civilians. And these civilians, the comments by the civilians are so funny. They're like, she just fell over and she's like dead. Like, she's like not breathing, white on the ground. She's like, is she okay? No, dude, she's not okay, man.
Hey, but the trade-off is that now we got Mr. Cancer Patient as our third main party group or group member.
He's a good guy.
I thought he was a cool dude.
He's cool.
I enjoyed him.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed his character. I like the fact that they have like a terminally ill like cancer patient and stuff, and he's like, you know, I'm giving a second chance.
I don't care about being God. I just want to take down Metropolitan Man because he sucks.
Yeah.
He doesn't want him as a god. I wouldn't want him as a god.
He doesn't want him as a god because of his family, his kid and his wife. He's like, I want them to live in a world where he's God. Like, are you kidding me?
That's actually a really cool like aspect that they kind of introduced. It's like, you know, we have a guy that's like, you know, he doesn't care about being God himself, but he does have like, you know, his, you know, the common enemy, which is his family and the common enemy, which is Metropolitan.
And he was using like red arrows to like get money for his family, like copious amounts of money and stuff like that.
And I like the fact that he still says this is still bad, even though I'm using the arrow itself. It's still it's kind of still a sin by even doing it.
And I'm also thinking, I'm pretty sure the anime didn't think that far ahead, but like I still remember that the effect of the arrow only lasts like 33 days. So I'm just imagining.
So he could, the person he stole from could be like, "Where's my money?"
After like a month, he's like, "What? What happened?"
He's like, "What? They get robbed?
Hey,
what's
man,
going on?"
He ain't gonna live after a while, you know.
Yeah.
I would just red arrow him, get the money, and then white arrow him.
Oh, hey, but actually, I don't think it's confirmed if he has if his angel gave him a white arrow. Which, by the way, I love the fact that the angel has a monocle. That was kind of a interesting little design thing. Yeah.
I love how, going back to Metropolitan, I love how, like I said, Nase like threatens him hardcore, and he's like, "You're a special rank." She's like, "Yeah, and you're not making my candidate very happy right now, so you better watch your back."
I like the fact too that his angel is really helpful. Like, it literally basically tells like,
he has like the smartest angel out of every single one.
So he knows every single angel.
Which is weird because like Saki's angel is supposed to be known as the cunning one, but I guess he's
not even that kind. Well, he kind of is.
He kind of is because he was.
He tried to get Saki to shoot him with a red arrow.
Yeah. And hey, at least with that whole event that happened, at least we saw some of Saki's emotions, because that was, I don't know about you guys, but that was kind of annoying me for the past couple episodes. I'm like, come on, just say something.
Saki has no emotion, even now, even with like I don't know, dude. She's just really dry. Like, I wish we got a little bit more backstory about her character. Like, why is she like this? Why doesn't she like reciprocate him at all?
That was like little bits and pieces. Even our MC is like, oh, why is she sad?
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
So I feel like later on we'll get a little bit more about her. Because of course, remember what they said. The candidates, the whole reason why is that they were gonna die.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they had no will to live. Then they, that's when they became candidates. So like, I'm sure we'll delve into Saki, why she even got her god canon in the first place.
Most definitely, yeah.
Because according to our MC, like, she was like a shining light in his life.
Oh,
Yeah.
Speaking of getting backstory though, we got a little bit of backstory with Metropolitan Man, and
Oh, who cares? His story sucks. He's just edgy.
I like how they took a page off of Mr. Freeze's backstory and just made him like, oh, my sister, she's frozen in ice.
I have to save her.
So dumb.
But the thing is that, okay, watching the ED though, it really does kind of put things into like perspective. It really feels like this anime really wants him to be the main character, because this guy is way too similar to Light Yagami in a lot of ways in regards to like his stance on like world domination and like humanity cleansing and everything. So I'm like,
yeah,
but he isn't the MC though.
No,
Light was.
He isn't, but like if you look at the cover art and like if you look at the ED and stuff like that, they really want to push this guy as the MC for some reason.
God, I hope he's not the MC.
That'd be upsetting. If anything, that would
be.
Yeah.
Because I don't particularly like him. He doesn't have like. I haven't seen Death Note, but I assume Light had some redeeming qualities to make you kind of like him.
Yeah. No, he did. Light did have.
I don't know. Light was okay at first, but like he kind of went a little loony later on.
Yeah,
he killed a lot of people.
I think that was the point. I think the whole point of the show was like, hey, he delved into madness, man.
Yeah.
The power got to his head.
Pretty much.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Move on to our next anime, Heike Story, episode 8. And man, this anime just keeps giving us sadness, man. Like, okay, we talked about Platinum End and how that one just kind of like has its edgy moments, but like this one is like
it's
legitimately
edgy, but it's goofy too. Like when someone dies in Platinum End, it's like you don't really feel sad. You're just kind of like, oh, they died, you know.
Not this anime, man. This anime, Heike Story, oof. Man,
this anime makes you, it makes you feel sad. Especially now we have like a new, you know, the Heike are like getting overrun.
They're
like
being overrun by the
dynasty's
Genji.
Losing.
They're being overrun by the Genji, which I want to say I love their leader. He's so like
that guy's
awesome.
Yeah.
And you know, if you go back into history, like he has Tomoe Gozen and like, dude, they're badass.
Yeah,
like,
they're cool.
The Genji are badass.
They're really cool, and like it kind of like, I know they're in the context of the story they're meant to be the antagonist, but I'll be honest, man, I'm kind of rooting for them.
Honestly,
they're
dude,
so cool.
honestly, in this story, the Heike are not the protagonists. Like, they're not the good guys you're supposed to root for. This story is the downfall of the Heike. That's why it's called the Heike story.
Yeah, no, it is. You're absolutely right. It is absolutely the downfall of the Heike, but
like to say in a way, like not all Heikis were horrible people.
No, that's Shigemori, dude, the legend, love him.
Shigemori was awesome, but you know.
Yeah, he's awesome. Even like Koromori and like the brothers and stuff like that are all like, they're good people. It's just like the leadership was terrible.
They did not do well, and it's all Kiyomori's fault.
Even that little short chubby guy with the mustache, he sucks. Like, he's terrible.
Oh, the third brother, I think.
Yeah. He's a surviving eldest brother, but
you
know what sucks though is that like if Kiyomori passed away before Shigemori did, then Shigemori would have been the one assuming the head of the family.
Yeah,
that's what
Shigemori. That's why Shigemori's death is so tragic, because even that scene where he died is just like, you saw the life like leaving him, like he was praying to die. You know, like he was just so depressed and hated where his life was going.
And it sucks for the youngest sons. You know, they're suffering the most, if anything.
I know,
especially
and
the oldest.
They're terrified and they're scared. Like he lashed out at Biwa for no reason, which we have story in this episode about Biwa wanting to find her mother, and stuff like that.
And that was really cute that they called back to Gyo and what happened with her and how she's kind of like retracing her steps back into finding her mom.
And I was gonna say, I like seeing the now we're not only into the family, we're more seeing outside of the family now. So
it's true.
Yeah, basically what this story is, and what I like about it is, it's not Biwa. To me, is like, she's the protagonist, but she's not really. She's just an observer of all the events happening, and that's what I like about it, because it's like, okay, so you see this downfall, you see all these like horrible things happening, and Biwa's there. You basically follow what Biwa's doing, like where she is. So like for example, you can see now that even though the Genji is like their leader's cool and everything, they're still doing the same thing in the towns as the Heike did. Like they're abusing the villagers and like hurting them and stuff like that.
Rabbi?
Absolutely. And like the thing about Biwa, what makes Biwa so cool is that like you're absolutely right. Like Biwa is basically like the Horatio of like a Shakespearean tragedy, because the Heike story is pretty much like set up to be a tragedy, and Biwa is like you said, she's the observer of those kind of like seeing kind of what happens, but with the unique twist of the fact that she could already be able to tell like what's going on, you know, by being able to see into the future and everything like that. My one complaint I kind of wish is that that we had a good sense of time as to kind of when everything. I mean, this has been my ongoing, like, it's just literally just my minor nitpick. I kind of wish I got to know.
I noticed
like,
it
what
too.
time. Yeah, because because when the story started, like Tokuko was like 16, like she wasn't even married, and like now she already has like a child.
I agree
dead.
actually 100% with this, because they vaguely say it like, oh, it's been 3 years since we moved the capital briefly and stuff like that, but like if you are not paying attention to like at that time, you're gonna miss that.
And what
you're
sucks
gonna
is
be
that
lost.
they again, they are completely understandable, because this is like, you know, feudal era Japan, but like they don't use like Gregorian like calendar dates. So it's all like, you know, like Meiji era or like all that stuff.
It's like picturing like you were at that time, I guess.
I know, yeah, but it would have helped if they actually had
it's
like
hard
dates.
it's hard to understand because we aren't Japanese as well, so we have no familiarity with it at all, like not in the slightest.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we all love this show. We didn't even talk about the big battle like that happened where the Heike lost 70,000 members off the cliff.
Oh, that was
horrible. Like Korimori, he tried to be like the leader and he failed miserably, and he was scarred again. Like his life, Korimori's life is a tragedy in and of itself, because he cannot be who he wants to be.
That's the thing, that he didn't have. I don't even think he was even prepared for an ambush. This was like the Genji themselves were so prepared that they knew what to do. Like
the Genji fights guerrilla warfare. They fight differently than the Heike do. So it's dirty. Like, you know, guerrilla warfare versus traditional fighting always wins. Always.
Mm-hmm. They know the land and everything.
And I like the little aspect outside of the war too. Like, oh look, the Genji have I haven't seen that flag for 20 years. I was like, what? No way.
Like you can see that the Heike are dying off. Times are changing.
But moving on, we're going to be talking about our next anime. We have Sakugan, episode 5. Not much really happens. I mean, I guess other than like Memempu and Gagumber doing like community service.
I thought I thought the guy was gonna end up being a bad guy.
It kind of felt like it, yeah. But he legitimately
cares.
He's a conservationist, which Gagumber calls him a nerd because he cares about nature.
A dirty little nerd.
Yeah.
Both nerds.
Well, Memempu's a nerd too, so it's okay.
This episode, if any of you guys watching this episode are huge fans of vultures, you guys are gonna love this episode. Because this episode has you down. It has you covered. But we gotta skip on to the last part of that episode. I thought Memempu was gonna be like mutated into Oblivion.
Oh.
Cause she got that like head to toe in that green goo that killed that rat.
Yeah, literally.
And I'm like, holy cow! Like, how'd you survive this?
Dude, you know who comes to the rescue? Big Tony, baby.
That's true.
Little Tony, baby.
That's true. No, not Big Tony. Big Tony's
not
the robot.
Little
This
Tony.
is regular Tony. Just Tony.
Tony, dude.
Oh man.
He covered her and saved her, dude.
Yeah, that's true.
And then she's like, thanks, Tony.
Thank you, Tony, and thank you, this amazing suit, for protecting me.
I like that the fact that the map itself even goes down into like smaller, like it shrinks even more. That's how they found out going through this labyrinth, I guess, because this
Yeah, the map is so intricate that like it shows literally like a GPS.
And yet Gagumber still he still doubts the power of that map. It's
because he's a boomer, dude.
Yeah. He does, yeah, like old people, they don't know how to read maps.
He doesn't trust the technology, bro. That's an ongoing theme actually too. Like that's not even a meme. Like he literally the ongoing theme is like he doesn't trust. He is kind of more old school, just like go by your heart.
Yeah.
And Memempu's all about just like trying to figure it out from
your brain.
From her brain or from technology, and he doesn't agree with that, and they fight all the time because of it.
Yeah, because he keeps bringing up like, hey, back in my day as a marker, we used to do these sort of things, but like, hey, you know, I still got it.
And the thing was that he didn't even want to do this, but you know, the money, of course. That's the only reason why he jumped for it. It's like, you know what? Let's go on this small adventure, just to fix one of the wind machines, I guess. The wind, whatever. The wind god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm amazed. Just a big machine.
Yeah, I'm amazed that whole location's held by that big factory of. I don't know why they call it a god. It looks like
because it was ancient technology, I think.
Oh, okay.
It's using Mako energy, David.
You dumb.
It was surface technology from the old humans.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It was a pretty mellow episode. You know, not much happens.
I don't know where the story's going anymore. We're halfway through and it hasn't really gone anywhere.
It's cause we already like the whole Jolly thing. I legit thought was our end destination. I did not expect us to like get to Jolly so quickly.
I think the location still is that big tower thingy.
It's an overarching thing, and that's why, you know, I don't think I've said it here, but like I'm kind of worried that this is gonna go in the same direction as Fena did with.
Same.
Well, Fena was boring. The world around it was boring.
Yeah.
It looked nice, but it was.
At least Sakugan has what it has going for it is like a whole like underground world, which is really cool because you don't really see that much of that, you know, in anime. So. Yeah, still looking forward to the next episode. Just hoping we get a little bit more action and a little bit more like plot development. So that's gonna be nice.
like the first 2 episodes.
Oh yeah.
Well, I guess this episode was just main for the guy. What's his name again? The guy that looks like from BNA, the evil dude.
Yeah. That's the reason why you suspected him.
Yeah, he's pretty much.
He kind of does look like an evil corporate leader. Yeah.
Yeah, but he.
Mero.
Mero.
I think his name is Meru.
Yeah, so it was his episode, even with the whole tea thing and all that, you know.
Yeah.
From the ancient times.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
that was really cool.
It was this episode.
Yeah, but
just nerding out.
Yeah.
Him and Memempu.
But yeah.
The names in this show are hilarious.
Our next anime, we have Lupin the Third, Part 6,
Episode 4.
Yeah, so this one we gotta have to chop, and the main reason behind it is scheduling. This episode,
scheduling and the lack of like.
We don't have that much time to check it out in general.
This one's getting the cut.
Yeah.
We're
all
definitely
love Lupin. Like we're not doing it because we want to, but it's just hard to time-wise we
consistent. Yeah.
So, but we are still going to be talking about it like towards the end, just like every other anime. But this episode,
or at least the halfway point. So once we get to the halfway point, because it's like 24 episodes, so just like episode 12-ish, we'll probably talk about the halfway point. You know what we.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, definitely. That's definitely something we can do.
Yeah.
But yeah, this episode in general, what do you guys think?
Pretty much it was trying to what was it, Josh? They were explaining pretty much like what's gonna happen because they're looking for a specific thing, right?
It was a really interesting way to like show kind of storytelling, because it was like basically the whole episode takes place in one area, and it's just Lupin and Jigen like in costume, just like talking to the waitress. and that's how they tell the story. Basically, it's really like unique way to show it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Of course, the waitress is Fujiko. They're trying to find the Ernest Hemingway novel, The Killers, because it's like a really special book that the CIA wants to cover up for exposing government secrets and stuff.
You know how Lupin loves his treasures.
That's true.
Yeah. So they were trying to find that. This one random dude just randomly stole it, and there's like a million assassins waiting for him to come to this bar and just light him up.
That was
so
great.
we get some really cool like Sakuga moments of everyone just fighting each other for no reason and blowing up the whole area.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I felt like it was a really charming episode because of just the way they like the dialogue flowed so nicely when they were kind of like beating up on the waitress and stuff like that and being like, oh, she's a smart girl. No, she's not. Ah, she's smart. You know,
man.
stuff like that.
And the whole like Josh said, the whole story and how the book, what the book was, like we got history with it.
Yeah, we got lots of history with it.
They show a couple of faces and it was pretty funny.
Yeah, and they looked accurate too. Ernest Hemingway looked like Ernest Hemingway. I was like, what?
Yeah, Lupin in general has like a habit of just like when they offer like real life like people, they always gotta make like the real life like figures super realistic compared to like the cartoony like art style of Lupin.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
So yeah, it was a cool episode. Nothing major, nothing to do with the story or anything. We haven't seen Sherlock Holmes in a few episodes.
Yeah,
but that scene in the when they finish eating, all you see is like, where's the waitress? Turns around, everyone starts, the lights are off, starts blasting the whole area.
She turns the lights off and everyone starts blasting each other.
So funny too, the whole position, how everyone's dying. It was really hardcore at a point. People
that's why I say it was a Sakuga moment, because it was beautifully animated. It was just like the deaths were packed a bunch, and then that one guy who brought like a machine gun, a stationary machine gun from his car.
There's literally a van outside with a machine gun and just destroyed the whole entire the whole restaurant.
Yeah.
And then all you see is Lupin and G and just pop out like, all right, you done here.
We made it, guys. Yeah.
Everyone's dead.
To our next anime, which is also unfortunately getting the cut. It is very, very, very sad to say for all of us here. It's Komi-san.
Episode 3.
And the issue is scheduling is really weird with it, you know, being weeks behind the Japanese release with Netflix and stuff like that really messed up the show's release.
Yeah, so we
like right now Japan is on episode 5 and we're just talking about episode 3. So there's extra content out there, you know, that we can be spoiled on.
Yeah, so it is unfortunately, you know, it is very sad that we have to do what we got to do, but like but we'll of course we're all still gonna watch, you know, Komi no matter what.
Yeah, definitely we're gonna talk about it later.
So Josh, give me your I guess for this episode, what did you think about this episode?
What did you think, Josh?
Put me in the hot seat here. Okay.
You're the only one that doesn't know anything about Komi, so we're dying to hear it, man.
Yeah.
I like the show. It's cute. I like how Agari was like she's weird. She's just a weird girl. She was like super nervous, and I love the beginning part. It was just like all normal. She's like, "Hi, I'm Agari. I'm nervous. You know, I like to read and stuff like that. And my classmate Komi-san is watching me from the corner." And it just shows like her just staring at her from the back, and I was just laughing because it's like a horror movie. And then she kept going and being like, "Komi, why are you staring at me? What do you want from me?" And I don't know. I love the interactions because everyone treats Komi as like this beautiful like goddess and that can do no wrong. Even when she doesn't say anything, they're all like, "I understand her perfectly. I get what she's trying to say." She's just sitting there like, "What is going on?" And the game at the end. When they were all trying to see her kissy face.
Yeah.
And
Hey, but
and my boy is like, I gotta save her.
Yeah, Tada know
I
what
gotta
to say.
save her. But it's just really cute, and it's like creative and it's funny. Like, I love the way they do the no talking thing. I love the animation. The animation's amazing. So I'm really, it's a shame we have to drop it, but just like, I'm really loving the show, and I can't wait to talk about it again when it's done.
Oh yeah. Okay. To our next anime, we have Ousama Ranking episode 4. And man, this
you should be watching the show.
Yeah, this
you should be. If you guys are not watching the show just because it looks weird or if it looks kids, like, dude, like, do yourself a favor and just watch it, because seriously, like, we can't recommend the show enough. This is one of the best shows of the season, if not the best show of the season.
I think so.
And it's such a surprise to us too, because like, we thought, let's face it, all of us thought it looked cool because it's unique. But even aside from it looking cool, it's just like a really, really good story.
It's heartfelt,
like, it's from the heart, and it really just like is probably as unique as any story can be in an anime form.
Yes.
Like, this episode breaks your heart, tears in 20 places, and then leaves you on a cliffhanger. And
literally,
it's so difficult to with your emotions. I'm like, I don't know if I should feel sad for him, angry for this guy, or sad for him at the same time, because I get what he was going for, but this guy, why did he do that?
Yeah.
Why did Domas do that?
Like, Domas has like he's a weird character, because you want to hate him. You want to hate him so bad. He's such like you feel like he's like an evil little,
you can tell
POS,
that you could tell that the time and all that he spent with Boji was genuine, though. Like, when he wanted to learn sign language and stuff to communicate with Boji, that came from the heart.
Those flashbacks are really important.
Yes, most definitely. It was the same.
If
the same thing with
those flashbacks aren't there. Then
I wasn't
you
here
hate the character.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't here last week, but that thing with the same thing with Queen Hilling as well. Because I thought that she was just gonna be like a regular like evil stepmom, but turns out she legitimately wanted to form a bond with Boji, and it's sad, man. Like, it's just
and I love how even last episode with Queen Hilling, you could tell how much she has a bond with him, because when Boji went off on his journey, she got like a pain in her heart, like she looked like she was having like a palpitation or something. She said, I just got a feeling that something really horrible is gonna happen.
Right? Yeah.
On this. So, and when he gets pushed off, it changes. Like, Boji's falling off the cliff, but then it changes to her glass of tea that falls off the table and shatters.
It's just like my Indian soap operas.
And the crazy part is the whole like the story. I like that we get story for each character, that we've seen so far. The only one that we don't have that much story on is the dagger guy, the looking kind of villain guy.
Oh, Bibin. Yeah, him, the snake guy.
Snake guy.
We don't even know if he's alive.
He probably is.
I think he's alive, honestly.
I think he died, but he's gonna be brought back with dark magic or something like that.
Also,
that mirror knows.
I think Kage's still hanging around Boji. Like, I think Kage's like helping him out.
I can see
in the shadows.
You think he saved him on this episode?
We'll see.
I think he did, dude. I think he did. Honestly, I want to believe.
And of course the new guy too, the one that believes in Boji, because remember. A piece. I think his name is. Yeah, the spear guy. Yeah. Oh no, not a piece. The one with the gray hair. The other one. The one that he cried when he was crying to his mother, or the tombstone. Yeah. That guy. I actually like that guy. He's not.
There are. It's crazy because, like, as much as Boji has a heart, there are people on his side. There are people who are like, we're on your side, and even this episode references it too, with Kage being like, I'm in your corner, and people being like, there's people on your side, right? Like, I don't know. It was just really. I love Boji as a character. He's such a fighter. Even in Daida's dream, when he was having a dream of the little Boji getting hit over and over and over again, standing up, and the narrator person was like, he will keep fighting for like forever. He will never stop. He'll always stand up. His strength is so. His spirit is so strong. It was just like, damn, man.
And
Boji's like, he's a warrior.
And see with this show, this one they actually went to an adventure. Not like Feina. At least
unlike
this
Feina, yeah. Still roasting Feina like 3 episodes after it's done.
Never gonna stop.
Never gonna stop.
Never gonna stop.
And
but yeah, this show, we didn't even talk about the hunter guy making, the metaphors to the sacrifices, and then Domas pushing him off and stuff like that. Like, this show's so deep, we could talk about this forever, honestly. Like, it's such a good show. Watch it. Just watch the show, man. Seriously.
To our next anime, we have 86 Season 2, Episode 6, also known as Episode 17.
Yes.
Man, I was lost.
Yeah, at the very beginning, I was lost too. I was just like, what is going on? It's just the Republic dying, and I'm like, what?
It was the Republic dying, but we also
I mean, we knew it was gonna happen, but one thing I don't particularly like about this season, just like, this season's not as good as the first season. Spoiler alert. But one thing I especially don't like is the lack of seeing our major. Like, why? Like, she was the biggest part of the first season, and we barely seen her. We've seen her like once in every like 3 episodes, and I kind of get it because they're focusing more on the 5, but like, losing that connection to the major sucks, because she was the MC. She made you like, you fought for her, what she believed in. She believed in the 86 having equal rights and stuff, and you fought for that, and you wanted that to come to fruition and stuff like that, and to not see her anymore, or to see like this different personality of her is weird. In
a way, the show actually tells you too, because remember how they were saying that never forget, I think. Forget her.
Yeah. I actually like this episode because of that, because they specifically show her and Shin's relationship, which was good, because like I said, throughout the last few episodes, I was like, where is our major? Like, what is going on? This feels like a completely different show. But this episode kind of brought back the feeling, the feeling of being oppressed. Even when they're in this country who accepts them, they're still oppressed.
Yeah, because they're not technically like regular people. They're still known
They're still monsters. They call them Republic monsters.
Yeah. So even though they're in look, we could do whatever we want, they're still looking at them.
They kind of can't,
Yeah.
Especially
it reminds me a bit of like how prisoners, when they get out, they're never taught like to reform in the society. So like, when these 86 got out into the real world, they were like, war's the only thing I know. Like, that's all I know how to do. So that's why I'm going back into the army. Like, I don't know how to be a normal person, Like, so I think that's really interesting.
Like right now, I guess for me is the 4 characters, the MC, the guy, Reaper. I really enjoy him right now, Shin. But the ones that are getting left behind are the other 4.
Yeah,
I know, which in the first season they all got good development. Like, we saw Karina, the red hair girls, like she was kind of in love with Shin, and like, where'd that go?
But right now,
and then I think personally, in my opinion, I think we get way too much focus on the little girl Frederica. Like, I think there's way too much focus on her, and there's so much focus on her that we're forgetting about like the characters that are already established, So, I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes, but so far,
I can't wait what the next episode's gonna be at, because at the end of this, literally the Republic is literally gone. Like, they even show the major.
They showed her room, and her room was destroyed.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. I was like, oh no, what happened? Did they actually lose everything?
Yeah.
Our next anime is going to be Mushoku Tensei Season 2, Episode 5.
This is what I needed for this show.
Exactly,
it went,
100%.
It went
I agree with
now.
that. I think, honestly, David, it's the perfect time to have this type of episode. Because we were just getting comfortable with, like, kind of traveling around and stuff like that, but we needed, like, another, like, developing episode, and this was perfect.
Like, it was cool, the fact that we're just traveling back to their homeland.
It's fantastic world building, to see like the different parts of the world that they inhabit, like the demon continent and stuff like that. But we needed more like drama with like the family and stuff like that.
No, but not only with the family, the whole issue, like he just thought it was just them four just getting, them three getting
the whole mana transportation thing. Like we didn't forget that happened, but we were only seeing it from Rudius's perspective, where he was just like, oh, it's just me, Eris, and Ruijerd who got transported. That's it. Like we just have to get back home and everything will be back to normal. But nope, it's not the case.
It was a lot of people.
Hundreds of people are missing.
And I guess Ruijerd, Rudy?
Rudy, yes.
He never noticed it because he never looked at the board. Apparently there was a thing that to warn.
Yeah, we saw it in the last season, like at the very last episode. Paul made that, and Roxy looked at it actually.
Maybe that's why Roxy was over.
That's why she was looking for Rudy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was the whole reason why, because she saw that they were missing.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I don't know, this show's really, it knows when exactly to put in the story beats like perfectly, and I love this show.
Yeah. Like,
it's great.
The perviness happened in the beginning, but now he realized it like towards when he had a conversation with his dad,
That his dad, the conversation with that was so intense. I was like, I had to pause the video at one point and like kind of regather my thoughts because it was so intense. I was like, dude, like,
yeah, because
Paul, people hate Paul for being like this jerk, but he really just wants to find his family, man.
At this point, he is pretty, like, when you look at him, he's pretty much like defeated in a way.
Yeah.
He's been looking for even Rudy's been like, it's been a year and a half. He's been searching every single day of his life for his wife and kids for a year and a half.
That's why Rudy's made fun. Oh, look, you're just looking for hot women,
Oh, look at who your party is and stuff like that. And that's why he punched him, because he's like, this is not what I'm doing. Like, I want my family back. And like, I see it from Paul's perspective too, because like, think about it, you lost your whole family. Like, you're gonna need things to keep your mind off of it too. And Paul's not a faithful, loyal to the end, strong type of. He's not a very strong person, like willfully. So like, you see him, he's disheveled, he's drunken, he's like all messed up because he's probably traumatized by the incident. So like, I don't know. I don't get the hate for Paul. I think he's just very human. He's just a very human, raw character.
Everyone has their faults, and Rudy as well.
Rudy has his faults too. His fault of not caring too much about his family, like never messaging, like not messaging, like writing a letter to them or anything like that. Like he needs to, he's still stuck in his old way of life when he was like 30 years old, where he doesn't care about family and he only cares about, doing things for his own self-gain and stuff like that.
But this time we get to actually see it, like he actually, like he became his father in a way where he gave up.
It bites him in the butt.
And that's when your guys' favorite girl, came to confront.
Oh, that was so cute, dude. Him. Oh my gosh, so cute. I love Eris. I love Eris so much. He's like my favorite character in the show.
For me, it is the guy, the bald dude.
Yeah, you like Rouger? I like him too. I like all the characters in the show. This show's great, just in general.
Cause I love when like, hey, don't pry into their family thing. Just go and comfort it. That's
yeah,
what he
I love
needs.
that because Eris is like, she views like Rudius as like, she puts him on a pedestal too much. Instead of just valuing him as like a person, she kind of just like treats him as like her savior, you know. So whenever whenever he gets hurt or something, she just wants to go and like, oh, you're hurting him, I have to beat you, right? Like that's just her aggressive nature. But Rougeard is like, no, don't do that. Like that's not what you need to do in this moment. You need to just be there for him.
All right, and now we move on to our next anime. We have The Great Jahy Will Not Be Defeated, episode 14. Now, man, I really enjoyed this episode like so much. Like I love just kind of like that build up from last episode with like between Jahy and like the magical girl and stuff, and the fact that we like lead on into this battle, but like not really battle at the same time, and like it's just really cool. I like kind of like how it led on to the magical girl, and like how she ended up becoming like a friend later. Like, oof.
Like an obsessive friend.
No, yeah.
She's crazy.
No, and like, you know, and the thing is that like you kind of always had like hints of that, of like, okay, she's kind of a weirdo, so like you don't really know, like,
screw loose, yeah.
So you don't know, like, you know, how many, like, you know, if she has like a good track of like friends or whatever. But like that was a pretty interesting revelation, though.
Yeah,
like that she
I
had, like,
also
no
like, you know, the animation for the fight scene's pretty good actually,
right?
And that it was an actual fight scene. Like I thought it was gonna be like, oh, you know, Jahy's sleeping and she was dreaming about it or something like that. Like I thought that's what was gonna happen, dude. But it ended up actually like progressing, and you know, she made a friend. Yeah,
I legit thought that like that was gonna be like the case. I legit thought like, oh man, Jahy's gonna like wake up, and then all of a sudden, you know, that happened. So I love the fact that this episode, like, it's not only funny, but it also like progresses what little story it has by like setting the new status quo that like, okay, the magical girl, you know, she's not just like your generic bad guy that's like hunting down like the mana crystals. Now she's actually like legitimately introduced into Jahy's life, which I really enjoy. And just the fact that like she's like an over obsessive, like, you know, friend character now, it's like it's the best. And like I love the fact that like you don't even get to see kind of like what she doesn't even know like what kind of friend she is or whatever. Like she doesn't know anything regarding like, oh man, how our friendship's kind of like held, like what do you do, all that stuff. So I thought that was really cool.
Like she's really silly. She's goofy character. Yeah, because she's like over the top goofy, and she's like, Jahy, I love you so much. Oh my gosh, I love you so much. And Jahy's like, ugh. Kind of weird, man. You're kind of a weird dude. Yeah. But we also in this episode meet the Dark Lord.
The Dark Lord, yes.
She's
the Dark Lord is pretty much Kanna from Dragon Maid, which I don't mind at all.
Basically the same person. She doesn't really talk.
Yeah.
She's kind of weird, eats a lot, does weird things, kind of sits there. She kept stealing Jahy's food, and Jahy was getting very demoralized.
Felt bad for Jahy, and it sucks too, because like now you see the dynamic, because up until that point Jahy was pretty much on top of like everyone. Like she was on top of like Druge and whatnot, but like here,
yeah, but you finally see her having to bow to someone.
Yeah,
you know?
this is her legitimate, like this is her legitimate superior, you know, like not counting the landlady and the manager.
Yeah, like this is like a person she respects.
Yeah.
And like even when the Dark Lord gave her one little tiny piece of octopus, she was like, do you see how generous the Dark Lord is? And then the Dark Lord chose the girl over her, and she's like, what?
Yeah, she's like, I want to live in this like rickety like fallen down apart house. So.
And she gives me food.
But yeah, no. Overall, this episode was like super entertaining and everything. I love it.
Yeah, it's just a goofy episode.
Yeah, and I can't wait for more Jahy. I can't wait to see kind of like what else like these. Now that the magical girl is like introduced as like this obsessive friend, I can't wait to see kind of like what goes on next. Ever so beloved, Dragon Quest Dai, episode 56. Man.
I feel like we're getting to the end. I don't want to count the chickens before we hatch, but I feel like we're getting close. Like,
I had this.
What gave it away? Is it the fact that Vern kind of shows up? He's like, yo, what you gonna fight me?
Is it the fact that the whole world is destroyed?
That too, I guess.
Maybe it's that.
Yeah. The fact that, or the fact that, you know, Baron is dead now.
So last episode, me and Omar were having our conversation, and I told him, man, I have this feeling that this battle right here, Baron's gonna die, like literally, and the way he dies, kind of sad how he pretty dies. I'm like, damn,
he dies saving Dai.
Yeah. And it's so upsetting just seeing him there, you know, stuck in the air while Dai looks up. And
I do like the fact that they acknowledge, like, hey, you know, try and heal him, but like, you know, healing only works with someone that has life energy left, and Baron is literally out of life.
Yeah.
So
I was like, jeez.
And it's sad too because they started with like his vision and everything, and then later he can't hear too.
I was like,
yeah, that was sad.
That whole
and then Crocodine's like, Dai, you have to scream for him to hear you.
Yeah.
Like he was slowly fading from the world.
Oh, and the whole fact that he said, oh, like, I was never the dragon. I was
never the true Dragon Knight because I don't have the heart of a Dragon Knight, but you do.
Yeah.
I was like, ah.
You have what I lack.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
That moment, I was like, damn. Omar was he'll probably tear up to that for sure.
This is one of those moments where it's like, you know, I wish
Omar was here to just talk about this episode.
I was there. I was almost there, man. A verge.
Yeah. Though they handled the scene well. I mean, come on. I know, Josh. You know, you haven't been the biggest fan of the show, but like, you have to admit, man, they hit it off pretty good with Baron, right?
Yeah, it was emotional. Yeah, they made you feel for him, right? I just wish there was a little bit more with Baron, you know? This scene specifically, like, Baron's probably the best character in the show. Yeah. And I just wish there was more with him because he's just so good, you know? His arc when he was fighting Dai was, in my opinion, my favorite arc of the show. Mm-hmm. And, you know, he's just a great character, and it's sad when he died because you actually like got attached to him. You got attached to his story with Dai. You got attached to, you know, the father-son relationship and how it's like broken, but they tried to repair it.
And I love the fact that at the end he kept saying Dai, you know, Dai in general. He was not calling him Dino no more.
No, he stopped. He stopped.
Yeah.
And then he said that, hey, your grandpa on the island's your true father, and Dai was like, no, he's
my
not.
gramps.
He's my grandpa.
But you'll always be my dad. I was like, oh.
I was like, oh, dude, oh man, dude. Gosh, to be honest, it made me upset, sad in the show, and upset that I didn't get to see more Baron.
Yeah.
Because he's just really a good character.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the squad is like, oh, we gotta continue this for him. But while Pops is like, no, man, no, you gotta feel sorry for Dai right here, man.
Have to feel sorry for him, even though we're like legit on the ship right now. Like, they could literally kill us at any moment, man.
Like, Pop, man, don't be thinking about that. Dai is already okay, man. He even said it.
I want to say right here, so I remember a few episodes ago, I mentioned the Fern, Kilvern, and Mr. Vern thing. All right, I wasn't here last episode, but that pretty much proved it, right?
That was
part
sick,
of the Vern
though.
family, yeah.
Mr. Vern, and how Vern is like this pretty much. They're probably like split personalities, but they're all essentially just like one entity because they have the same name.
Did he like his true form?
Oh yeah, it's great. The fact that like he has his eyes closed and everything like that.
Yeah.
He's kind of like that pretty.
Omar called it. It was beautiful.
He's a beautiful man.
It was beautiful.
I mean, you're right.
A beautiful man.
I want to imagine Kilvern's probably the same too, underneath his.
Beautiful man.
Yeah.
So.
Shame they're evil.
Yeah, but hey, I mean, round 1, baby, that's coming up next episode, so that's gonna be real hype.
The curious thing that I'm like, what happened to Hadler and his pawns?
Oh, they're dead.
Spawns too?
For what they told us. I'm just taking them at face value.
Oh, okay.
I think they're gone because they were on the surface level when the nuke went off.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
I'm taking it at face value. If I put a little bit more brain power to it, I'll probably question as to whether or not they're still alive or not. But I'm not gonna do that.
Adler's definitely dead.
He's super dead.
He's super dead.
Well,
I would be laughing if it turns out that he's still alive somehow.
That would be, dude. Do you know how funny that would be if he's still alive? Like, I couldn't take this show seriously.
Like
he's still alive.
That would be like a whole concentrated nuclear explosion that he took to the face, and he would survive. That would be amazing.
Like,
no, hopefully he doesn't.
What up, boys?
Hopefully he doesn't come back, because his little scene was actually really impactful.
It was like the fact that he realized that like he was just basically a pawn. Like that was that he never got his fair fight that he wanted. I thought that was
and he teared up for that.
Yeah,
he was like, "What? I wanted my fair fight, and I didn't get it."
Like, I know we were all kind of like memeing on Hadler for the longest time, but like that legitimately did get to me because like he threw away his pride.
The thing I like about this, like, about Hadler, is because he's kind of seen as a joke. Even when he becomes a superior being, and you're like, oh, you have to take him seriously. He's still kind of seen like a joke.
Oh yeah,
to,
when
like,
he was
all the
fighting
other
against
people.
Dragonoid.
So like seeing him be a pawn, we're not surprised about it, but to him, for him to realize like, dude, they never actually cared about me like that. Like, I was just there just to be there, you know? Like, I was like a joke to them.
I threw everything out of my life just to do this, and I didn't even get to do it.
He didn't even get that one wish that he changed into a superior being for. Like, it was all for nothing pretty much.
Yeah, literally.
So, but yeah, I mean, round 1's coming up next episode. I can't wait. I'm excited. So I can't wait to see kind of where we're going to be going with that. Yeah. And with that, we're done with this week's episode of the Anime Squad podcast. We're done with our anime, and unfortunately, we have no news to say this week. But we'll see you guys next week, though. And of course, as always, be sure to red arrow that like button, white arrow that comment button, and fly straight into that share button and drop us a subscribe if you can, please. It'd be really cool for us and would really help us out. And like always, I'm your God candidate, Robbie.
And this is Angel David.
And this is Metropolitan Josh.
And we'll see you guys next week. Hopefully we'll bring Omar back from the dead. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.